On this episode of What's Going On with Shipping.
Oh, no way. Oh! I just got that on video. That's crazy.
Still on the San Diego Harbor Police on 16. We just had a hatter hit the side of the Midway.
The USS Midway and the motor yacht Offshore get involved in a collision. I'm your host, Sal Mercogliano. Welcome to today's episode. So this is going to be one of the strangest recaps we do of an accident on the high seas ever. This is involving a motor yacht, the Offshore, in San Diego Harbor on July 18th, and they struck the aircraft carrier USS Midway. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Midway is a moored museum ship. She has been at the same berth since 2004. So there's a little bit going on with this story. If you're new to the channel, hey, take a moment, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so be alerted about new videos as they come out. So as we get into this story, first I want to thank the crew over at the San Diego Webcam, Barry and all the personnel over there. They do a great job of capturing what is happening in and around the harbor of San Diego. They have their site on Twitter, but they also have this great YouTube channel. I strongly recommend everybody go over and subscribe to them. The crew at San Diego Webcam catch the daily operations in and around the harbor, not just Navy ships, but commercial vessels. It's a great view of what happens daily in the harbor. I will say that they have been a magnificent assistance to my channel. Back when we covered the near collision between the USS Momsen and the USS Harper's Ferry, this was captured by the San Diego Webcam. I did several videos on it, and I did a most recent one on the report that came out about that collision. I should also note that that incident in particularly is taught up at Newport, Rhode Island, where the surface warfare officers go for their training. That exact incident is used as a textbook operation for what to do in case of a near collision, which nearly happened. I will also mention that Barry and the crew at San Diego Webcam have gotten quite a bit of harassment from NCIS. No, not Mark Harmon and the crew at the TV show. I'm talking about the actual NCIS, the Navy Criminal Investigative Service, who have aimed to try to shut down part of the San Diego Webcam. Now, this is open source information. You can go to the harbor and see ships coming in and out. People do it every day. There are boats. I mean, you have your ring door camera set up. But for some reason, NCIS thinks that Barry is releasing information. I will note that San Diego Webcam targets their cameras so as not to show particular information. They're just showing the movements in and around the harbor. They're not showing things around the subbase, for example. They're not showing things particularly at certain areas of the airbase at North Island. So if you have an opportunity, go check them out. They're a great source, and I strongly recommend them. I'm a big supporter of the channel. All right, let's get into this story. Now, the Fox 5 affiliate over in San Diego had this story: private boat crashes into USS Midway, captain arrested for hit and run. That is the captain of the motor yacht Offshore, not the captain of the USS Midway. As I read this story, I'm going to have the San Diego Webcam image up here of the incident. There you can see the motor yacht Offshore coming in to hit the port side of the USS Midway. You lose it behind the image there. But that was the moment when the vessel struck the Midway. So this is the story posted over by Fox 5. San Diego Harbor Police have confirmed that a private pleasure craft collided with the USS Midway Museum ship, that's her there, CV-41, Friday afternoon, causing an estimated $100,000 in damage to the historic vessel. The incident occurred, they're saying, just before 2 p.m. on July 8th, but the San Diego Webcam image has it right before noon on July 18th, near the Embarcadero. According to authorities, the boat struck the hull of the USS Midway, denting the side of the decommissioned aircraft carrier, which now serves as a museum and popular tourist destination. San Diego Webcam, which offers live streaming webcam views of downtown San Diego and the bay from multiple cameras, captured the moment the collision occurred. Harbor police, and this is them rolling into the area right here, say the captain of the private vessel fled the scene but was later located and arrested. It's hard to flee the area when you've been seen by multiple people on board the vessel and photographed and posted onto social media. Story goes on. He is facing charges of hit and run and also suspected of operating a boat under the influence, hence the title of the video, Ship-Faced. Story goes on. No injuries were reported, and the USS Midway remained open to the public following the incident. An investigation into the collision remains ongoing. There you can see the motor vessel Offshore here. She anchored out in the harbor. You can see a Sandiego Harbor police boat coming into the area to board the vessel. Fast forward that video a little bit, you'll see people from the Offshore sitting on the starboard gunwale there on the aft side of the vessel as the police conduct their investigation. One of the things they would do is get statements from the people on board. They would also administer sobriety tests to determine whether or not any of the crew were impaired in their operation of the vessel. And as we do here at What's Going On with Shipping, we are thorough in our analysis of these investigations. So let's go over to marine traffic. So this is marine traffic for the port of San Diego. Now, we don't have a track on the Offshore. Offshore does not have an AIS. However, I do like to highlight here, this is the port of San Diego, this kind of fishhook design here of the San Diego harbor. Now, San Diego is not a massive commercial port. It does mainly roll-on, roll-off cargo, a lot of passenger ships, but it's obviously a huge naval base. Right here, this is North Island. This is where the airfield is, the Naval Air Station is. The aircraft carrier berth is right here up along North Island. Then you have Coronado over here. This is the Coronado Bridge going across. Here is NASCO. This is the shipyard. And then down here, these finger piers you see are all part of the Navy base. Midway is right here, kind of right smack dead center in the harbor. You will see her as a satellite image here. She doesn't have any transmissions. Again, she has been moored there since 2004, right along the Embarcadero. And Offshore came in from this position out here, roughly in the center of the harbor, heading northward, and obviously was probably heading up this way and drifted to the right and right into the port side of the Midway. Now, we're kind of joking about this, having a good time, laughing about it, but it is a serious issue. Either you had a pilot or a ship's captain or the owner of the vessel impaired or not paying attention, which is even more dangerous in some ways because there is a lot of traffic going in and around San Diego Harbor. There's private craft, there are commercial vessels, there are naval vessels, there are tourist vessels, and you could have had a horrific accident here. And we're making light of this, but to be serious, going in and out of San Diego is very difficult. I know pilots who navigate ships in and out of this harbor. I know people who sail, both Navy and commercial, in and out of this harbor. And San Diego is a bear of a harbor to go into because there is so much traffic. Sailboats, commercial craft, it is a problem. All right, continuing our thorough investigation of this accident, let's go see what the rules of the road have to say about this. So this is the U.S. Coast Guard Navigation Center with their amalgamated Navigation Rules International and the U.S. Inland Rules. So if you need to check on what are the maritime rules of the road, here's your one-stop go-to site for the U.S. Coast Guard. So in our thoroughness for preparing this video, we went to the Coast Guard Rules of the Road and did a quick search. Museum ship does not come up in the Rules of the Road. However, Part B, Section 2, conduct of vessels in sight of one another. That's kind of what we're looking at. Rule 12, we're not a sailing vessel. Rule 13, not overtaking. Rule 14 is not a head-on situation. Rule 15 could be the rule in case, but a crossing situation means both vessels are underway, and Midway hasn't been underway in over 2 decades. Rule 16, the action taken by the give-way vessel. And according to Rule 16 of the Coast Guard Rules of the Road, Every vessel which is directed to keep out of the way of another vessel shall, so far as possible, take early and substantial action to keep well clear. So this is going to be a bad day for the owner, pilot, captain of the Offshore, but gives me an opportunity to highlight a couple of things in the port of San Diego, hence one of the reasons for doing this video, besides the pure comedic value that's involved in this accident. Number one, if you've never been in San Diego, I strongly recommend it. One of my favorite towns to go to, not the least of which is it has some great maritime elements to it. USS Midway, a maritime museum, is fantastic. If you go to any of the aircraft carriers that are preserved, Midway is unique as that she is not an Essex-class carrier. She is actually the first of 3 Midway-class carriers built toward the end of World War II. Midway, Coral Sea, and Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Midway has a kind of special, place in my heart. I've got a model to the USS Midway. I'm wearing my USS Midway shirt today that I got on board. Plus, I adopted my son from San Diego, and so then one of the very first places I ever took my little newborn baby son was on board USS Midway, and I actually sailed with the USS Midway during the first Persian Gulf War. So Midway is an excellent place if you ever want to go to it. And right next to the Midway is the San Diego Maritime Museum. I strongly recommend, if you can get to the Maritime Museum of San Diego, you do it. What makes the Maritime Museum of San Diego absolutely unique is it's not a building. It's not like a typical museum. It is a series of vessels that you can go to. So you can go on the Star of India, which is one of my favorite ships to go on. Absolutely beautiful. One of the unique things they do at Star of India is they have the sails hoisted while the ship is tied up at the berth there. HMS Surprise, if you've ever seen Master and Commander, that is the ship they filmed Master and Commander on board. You have the steam ferry Berkeley. You have the submarine USS Dolphin there, Cold War diesel-electric submarine that's there. You've got a Vietnam-era swift boat. You got a pilot boat. You have the yacht Medea there. You have the California that is there, and then you have the San Salvador, which is a replica of the ships the Spanish used when they were exploring the area of the California coast. Just a fantastic place. Good buddy of mine, Ray Ashley, used to run the Maritime Museum of San Diego. He just recently retired, but a fantastic spot. So, I mean, you can go to the Midway right next door. You can go to the Maritime Museum of San Diego, and hopefully during your visits on board these ships, a commercial ship, a private vessel doesn't come on and hit you, which can happen in the port of San Diego, it appears. It's a very happy port in the port of San Diego. There's a lot of people out there. It goes back to the issue about who should be able to drive boats. Makes me question. Also pretty early in the day, by the way, not even noontime. And this guy is hitting the side of the USS Midway. So anyway, a little bit of a fun story today, an opportunity for me to highlight 3 things I love in San Diego: San Diego Webcam, Midway, and the Maritime Museum of San Diego. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, hey, take a moment, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you'll be alerted about new videos as they come out. Leave a comment, share it across social media, and if you can, support the page, but not just support my page. Go over there, support San Diego Webcam, support USS Midway, and the Maritime Museum of San Diego. Until our next episode, this is Al, signing off.